There I started my career as management trainee, but eventually I was working in maintenance planning. Because I was doing a sort of a routine work, I thought that this is a good challenge to work in the project, so I opted for it. Yeah, basically this is definitely a very mammoth project, 3,900 megawatt and more than 1,000 people working in that project.
Hello and welcome to FaceTime with Leaders, a podcast series by Directors Institute. I am your host, Sunny Pancholi, and today we have someone whose career reads like a blueprint for success in the power, petrochemical, and energy sectors. Our guest today, Mr. Rakesh Jha, has spent over 30 years leading some of the most complex and impactful projects across the globe, from the deserts of Saudi Arabia to the hearts of India's refinery expansions. But it's not just the scale of his work that's impressive, it's the way he has redefined operational excellence, innovation, and safety in industries that power the world. Mr. Rakesh Jha, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much, Sunny, for your nice introduction. I'm really appreciating you for that and humbled for that.
Great to hear that, Mr. Jha. So, with over 30 years of diverse experience in some of the world's most renowned organizations, your journey has certainly been an inspiring one, sir. So, from
Yes.
leading major projects at Saudi Aramco to driving groundbreaking developments in the energy sector, you have seen it all, right? So, looking
Yeah.
back, what would you say was that defining moment or experience that set the course for your career, and how did it shape the leader you are today?
Well, my career started something around 90s with a company in India. It's called, it's a Navratna, if you guys remember. It's called IPCL, Indian Petrochemical Corporation Limited. It was a petrochemical giant at that time, a public sector. There I started my career as management trainee, but eventually I was working in maintenance planning. And then there was a requirement, a new green project was coming up in the same corporate, and there were need of people for those projects. So because I was doing a sort of a routine work, I thought that this is a good challenge to work in the project, so I opted for it. And it was basically a project petrochemical, and I was given the responsibility of driving the project of utilities and power plant in that project. So that was a turning point, and then I became the person of project execution for power and utilities. And after that, then I got opportunity to work in Saudi Arabia, another petrochemical giant is called Sipchem. There also I've driven the project for utilities. And then after that, I got the opportunity to work in Essar Oil Refinery as a green project and in Jamnagar, Gujarat. There I was also driving the similar field like utilities for the project execution and commissioning. And then I went to Petronas, Malaysia, another giant of Malaysia. There also I have driven as a utility specialist. It was basically a normal operation plant. And then finally I landed up right now in Saudi Arabia, a massive project, which is a cogeneration plant of 3,900 megawatt. So I've gone through the gamut of all, the maintenance, operation, project, and I had the chance to work in training department and development, and then profit improvement. All those gamut of the, what you call is a value chain of a refinery and petrochemical. I've worked on that.
Incredible journey, sir.
Yes.
And it's amazing to hear how that experience guided your leadership approach. So, talking
Yes.
about the power generation plant in Saudi Aramco, managing a 3,900 megawatt co-generation power plant at Saudi Aramco must have come with its own set of complex challenges, of course. So, how did your experience prepare you for handling the various operational systems, from gas turbines to seawater pumping?
Yeah, basically, this is definitely a very mammoth project, 3,900 megawatt and more than 1,000 people working in that project, different streams, operations, maintenance, project team, construction team, then your vendors or contractors. So it was a difficult task, and particularly in oil and sector, we have to be very particular in safety. Safety is a value in oil and gas sector. So to drive the safety, we had different systems in process and place, starting from what you call the work to permit, then we have method statement, then you have the risk assessment, then you have stop work authority, then you have standard procedures, commissioning procedure, all those things we ensured it is properly been gone through by the review of the team, and it is approved, and then it is executed. The second thing was, in this massive project, people were from a different background. They were from different companies, they were from different areas, different places, and different backgrounds, different industry. So to align them in one and to have the same goal for them, it was a really challenging task. So it was done by, at the start of the project, we had to identify the people who are the stakeholders for this, who are going to be involved in this, who will be taking the decisions in this. So once it is identified, it's pretty easy. If you communicate them properly, break down all the activities in a small steps, and it is assigned with the responsibility matrix to the people, and they understood, and you have a two-way communication for their understanding, it becomes very easy to drive this. And the third thing was, whenever we had technical challenges, we had support from our management, we had support from our vendors also. We did the brainstorming to come out of the solution. We hired the experts from the different companies like gas turbines and other, and they collaborated with us to drive the project and to the near completion. So this is all three aspects very important for me.
It's incredible to hear how you tackled such a complex system, Mr. Jha. Managing a plant of that scale must have required immense precision and leadership. So, Mr. Jha, leading major projects like the Jazan Refinery and Essar's Refinery expansion must have been an incredible journey, one that likely came with its fair share of challenges also. So, from managing complex logistics to leading diverse teams, I can only imagine the pressure and decision making involved. So, what I would like to ask you is, looking back, what were some of the toughest moments that truly tested your resilience? And how did you push through those challenges to ensure the projects not only survived, but thrived?
I remember we had challenges in our Essar Oil refinery because of 2017-18 recession. The scope of the project was revised. It was in fact reduced from 34 mmTPA to 20 mmTPA, almost half of that. And that was the biggest challenge I faced. And, all the things where the engineering was done and the things were ordered, it is in procurement stage and it is in very advanced stage. So then, bring back to those and to optimize the costs. The management wanted to optimize the full cost. It was very difficult to do that. But then what we did, we started from the basics. We formed a team, collaborative team of our operations, project management, constructions, and sometimes vendors and some vendors also, and let them understand the requirements. Although it was very difficult because for the vendors, they already started constructing the things in the site because orders were done and then this recession came. So initially what we did with our internal team, we reviewed all the basis of designs, all the documentation, all the deliverables, all the procurement stage. And then we come out that, yes, this where we can reduce at this area. And then this thing we brought to the vendor and sub-vendor, how we can optimize these orders. They had a little resistance on that because they wanted to do it full, but looking to the situation, they agreed on that. And we had given them the promise that when we will have the further expansion, further improvement, we will come back to you and do the orders. So then they started working on that. Then they also suggested, and then they went to the sub-vendors. We also went to the sub-vendors to see the status of the construction and how we can optimize. And this was done for the whole project, and it was done very successfully. And then as a partners, they supported us with the team.
Yeah, it's inspiring to hear how you turned those challenges into opportunities. It really shows the strength of your leadership, Mr. Jha. So, moving ahead, having worked with cross-functional teams focused on profit improvement, I can imagine it's never just about cutting costs, but finding the right balance, especially in such a critical industry like energy. So, could you share some of the strategies you have found most effective in driving profitability while ensuring safety and quality never takes a backseat?
See, as I told earlier, in oil and gas, safety is the value, and it is not a priority. You cannot work without keeping safety in the mind always. I have been given the team as a profit improvement of experts, and I was leading those teams. So the strategy was the management had given us the full freedom to go through all the requirements wherever operation and maintenance and procurement files are there. You have to identify where we can do the cost optimization or intern profit improvement. So the strategy was to compile all the initiatives, all the gap or all the problem challenges we are facing in the refinery with our team, and then we listed it out. Then we had different options for each this initiative or this challenge or this problem. We had different options. We evolved different options, and each option is evaluated based on the cost implication, cost benefit, payback period, easy to implement. So then we have ranked it. Those things which was very easy to implement and reap the benefit immediately, we given the preference to that, followed by, and of course, safety and quality was always in the consideration, because safety items we kept at the top priority, and quality we could not compromise, because we had a team to review it. We took the help of all the stakeholders like inspections and quality controls and everything. So it was there. For example, I will tell you, we had to change the fans of cooling towers in one of our refinery, Essar Oil refinery. So we decided with the vendor that we will do as a pilot. We will take care of all the aspects of safety, quality, and cost optimization or profit improvement. And we did the pilot project. We reviewed it with the whole team and see the benefit of it. And that gave us a drive to replace it for the whole refinery. So this is the way we did it. So it was a huge cost reduction due to that, and quality improvement in the life of the equipments.
It sounds like it's a game changer when it comes to navigating these challenges, and I'm sure our listeners will take a lot away from that. So moving on to next question, Mr. Jha, you have achieved so much in your career already. But as we look ahead, I would love to hear about your vision for the future. So what are some of your key aspirations, both in terms of personal growth and in the boardroom? How do you see yourself shaping the next chapter of your life, and what impact would you like to leave on the industry?
See, luckily since I've worked in different refineries and petrochemical, particularly in utilities and power plant, and I have seen the three part of the ESG, basically, environment, then you have social and governance. Less of governance, but these two things I've seen more in environment and social. Environment, because if you run the plant, the utilities particularly, it is directly linked, because you are taking the raw material as a water, air, and power, and then you deliver as a wastewater or air emission. So I have closely worked on that. I understand the whole value chain of that. I understand the different technology on that. So that will give me a very good competency. Plus, on the societal side, I have seen the impact of wastewater, the impact of air emission, the impact of the pipeline going through a village, how the people react there, what are the aspirations, what are the expectations for people. For example, public sector, one company I started working in IPCL, the villagers stopped the road. They stopped the road. They did not allow us to go because they wanted a fresh water from the pipeline, which we could not do, and we could not even envision that. So this is one example. You see, if you are not good in environment, social, there's a possibility the work can be stopped. Similarly, on the governance side, yes, we should have a diverse governance. I understand, because going through this all the studies I am. So governance is a must. It should be diversified so people can challenge it. So with keeping these backgrounds, I have seen hands-on experience. I will take it to the board. Particularly, I have more leaning for the ESG so that I can bring my experience, my competency in the board and to drive the excellence of the board as well as sustainability and benefit to the society at large, to the country at large. And in that, I also grow and I also prosper and become someday expert of ESG in the boardroom. That is my vision.
Since we are discussing ESG, Mr. Jha, and as ESG principles continue to evolve and gain prominence, how do you see their impact on the future of leadership and decision making within organizations? Specifically, how can leaders integrate ESG effectively into their strategies, not just as a compliance requirement, but as a core value, that drives long-term success?
See, basically, globally, if you see, the ESG has growing very fast. The awareness, the regulation, the compliance now is growing very fast, and we have to compete with that. So for that, it should be ingrained. This ESG should be ingrained in the mission. It should not be on the paper, not be as a checkbox, but it should be in actual. We have to deliver things to show to the people, to the society, to the governance, to the investors. Because now people have all the investors, the government, everybody, even society, the community, everybody is seeing the governance, the ESG things. And accordingly, they are investing also. The investors also started seeing that. So it is very important for us to be ethical in that, be a corporate or person who drives the thing at the ground reality, at the field. So people are impacted on that. So there's a tremendous change. So all these things we have to incorporate. It should be part of mission. It should be driven properly. It should be monitored properly with all standard KPIs. We should take a reference of other industry also, how they are doing. We collaborate with other industry also so that the people are having impression that ESG is a cost, but now it is no more. In fact, for example, if you take the green energy, your value chain of the all raw material up to the finished product, you will optimize your cost. You will save the energy. You will save the water because you are recycling it. So this is one of the aspects. In the society, if you support the community of the society, the image will improve, the reputation will improve, and sustainability will be for the long term. So I want to contribute in this field with collaborating with our board and the corporate world and make a change in the society and to the country as well.
Rightly said, Mr. Jha. And your approach to integrating ESG into leadership strategies really highlights how forward-thinking organizations can thrive by embracing these values. Great. So that brings us to the last question of the session, and here it is. You have had an opportunity to engage with Directors Institute. So could you share with us what that experience has been like so far and how it's influencing your approach to leadership and governance?
No, it is awesome. The experience when I got associated with, by chance, I was going through some LinkedIn or some FaceTime, I got a chance to go through it, which is giving us a tremendous opportunity. There is a gap in the board now and the people understanding and competency and knowledge. So what Director Institute is doing basically to groom the people, those who are already on the board and those who want to aspire to be there. That bridging the gap is very important to know the corporate governance intricacies. So that is what Directors Institute is doing. Their LMS is excellent. They are, that session with the real leaders are very interactive, which give us the do's and don'ts of the case studies, which is really very, very impactful for us. And we are looking forward always to attain that, the real scenarios. Plus, we have other systems like what your FaceTime with the leaders, then we have profiling, there are many things, the whole system of Director Institute is gearing up to make you a better leader, a better board member, well equipped, well knowledgeable, and competent. Thank you for that.
Thank you. And it's great to see how valuable these experiences are, especially in today's ever evolving corporate world, Mr. Jha. So, well, Mr. Jha, it's been an absolute pleasure having you with us today. Your insights into leadership, governance, and your experiences navigating complex projects has been truly enlightening. And it's clear that your journey is one of continuous growth, not just as a professional, but as someone who is deeply committed to shaping the future of the industry you lead. So, thank you for sharing your time and wisdom with us. And I'm sure our listeners will walk away with a wealth of knowledge and inspiration. From our part, we wish you continued success in all your future endeavors.
I would like to thank you for that, to giving me the opportunity again for this FaceTime. Thank you, and wish you a very good future in Directors Institute as well.
Thank you so much. And to our listeners, thank you for tuning into this episode, and we look forward to bringing you more inspiring stories in our next podcast. Until then, take care and stay curious. Thank you so much and have a nice time.
Thank you.